Alright, just wanted to take a quick look at the Wright brothers because I've been thinking they had to have been flat earthers. Um, and like I say, everybody instinctively, deep down, is a flat earther, but they have had to acknowledge, I'm sure they did, that something was off about the globe theory. We're talking about a ball spinning at 1,000 miles per hour while also revolving around the sun. So it's spinning and it's revolving, rotating. There's lots of motions going on. And if you're somebody thinking of building something to fly over or on that, then you gotta be crazy. If you really think, like if you really thought that this thing was spinning and rotating, you would not build a flying machine on it. First of all, you would be cautious about lifting off. But of course, from experience, we know it's steel. We know the Earth is steel and flat. I mean, it's just so stupid. It's just so stupid when you really think about how we even believed it. Like, I mean, you can go on for days and it makes absolutely no sense. And they knew it didn't make sense. So I was, researching the Wright brothers and flat Earth, and I came across an interesting document. And this was by Charles K. Johnson. He was the International Flat Earth Research Society president back in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. He was the real deal, the official guy. This is the guy Eric Dubé talks about. So he's a legit flat earther. He was kind of like a one-man show. But I ran across this letter, which I thought was pretty interesting. This is for Introduction to the Flat Earth Society, International Flat Earth Research Society. The aim, he says, to carefully observe, think freely, rediscover forgotten facts, and oppose theoretical dogmatic assumptions to help establish the United States of the world on this flat earth. Replace the science religion with sanity. So he was really about something. Back then, I don't know when this was written. I have to look down. But, like we say now, we're figuring out that science is a religion. Even atheism is a religion. He says the International Flat Earth Society is the oldest continuous society existing on the world today. It began with the creation of the creation. First the water, the face of the deep, without form or limits, just water, the primordial waters he's talking about. Then the land sitting in and on the water. The water then as now being flat and level, as is the very nature of water. There are, of course, mountains and valleys on the land, but since most of the world is water, we say the world is flat. Historical accounts and spoken history tells us that the land part may have been square, all in one mass at one time, then as now the magnetic north being the center. Vast cataclysmic events and shaking no doubt broke the land apart, divided the land to be our present continents or islands as they exist today. One thing we know for sure about this world, the known inhabited world is flat, level, a plane world. We maintain that what is called science today and scientists consist of the same old gang of witch doctors, sorcerers, tellers of tales, the priest entertainers for the common people. And this is the problem. They pretty much bamboozled us, like Neil deGrasse Tyson. Like, he's a clown. He's a priest entertainer. There's a lot of videos done on him, a lot of spoofs even. Like, that's what he is. Like he says here, the priest entertainers for the common people. And this is also going on in the medical world. Same thing with this cancer issue. I mean, you got people curing cancer now, but when that white-coated priest comes in, they just have to bow down and listen to him and take the fucking chemo. It's just stupid. Like he said, it's the common people. And the more you learn these things, you do realize the common people have a big problem. against themselves even. Not we could blame these elite, these tellers of tales, but goddamn, the people, man. Sometimes you think it's just the people problem, really. Like but they're always being taken advantage of, by these sorcerers, these tellers of tales, these priest entertainers. Science consists of a weird, way out occult concoction of gibberish theory theology, unrelated to the real world of facts, technology, and inventions, tall buildings and fast cars, airplanes, and other real and good things in life. Technology is not in any way related to the web of idiotic scientific theory. All inventors have been anti-science. This is part of the key I wanted to point out too. This is a good point because a lot of globe earthers talking about science and you don't base science, and he specifically made a point to mention this fact because a lot of people, what about the inventions? You saying all science is bullshit? He's like, no, actually, all inventors have been anti-science. The Wright brothers even said, science theory held us up for years. When we threw out all science, started from experiment and experience, then we invented the airplane. And that's the key point. So I was, pretty much confirmed when I found this quote, because yeah, you would not, they would not build a plane if they really believed in the globe model. And so my assumption was, the Wright brothers, they had to be flat earthers. That's basically what they're kind of saying here. They threw out all the science, and with experience, and that's what flat earth is about. Experience. By the way, airplanes all fly level on this plane Earth. And we know that too. Everybody, most people have been in a plane, and the whole trip was level and flat. So he goes on here. Our society of synthetics have existed for at least 6,000 years. The extent of recorded history, extensive writing from 1492 BC. We have been and are the few, the elite, the elect, who use logic, reason, are rational. See, he's like, no, we're the real elite, because it's gonna be a minority of people who are even willing to use their own mind and senses on such a big issue, such a huge issue. It's socially, socially radical, but it's true. So he says, the few, the elite, the elect who use logic, reason, and rationale. Summed up, we are sane and or have common sense as contrasted to the herd who is unthinking and uncaring. See, like I said, this is a sociological issue. It's not just scientific. That's why he goes there. I like this guy. We're talking about the herd here, unthinking and uncaring. We have absorbed the Universal Synthetic Society of America and Great Britain, Zion, USA. The work of Alexander Dowie, 1888, Wilbur Glenn Bullivoff, 1942, Samuel Shenton. Lillian J. Shenton of England, 1971. He's just listing some people here. Seek out, search, prove as contrasted to theoretical, which means to guess, to hope, to suppose, but not to prove. Science proves Earth a ball by scripture words. He says that in quotes. We proved Earth flat by experiment. Demonstrated and demonstrable Earth flat is a fact, not a theory. Our aim is not to disturb the herd or wreck the government, but rather to be an aid to the elite human being in coming to know Earth flat, to then free his or her mind from such blind, unreasoning theory superstition, and so go on to carefully observe, think freely, rediscover forgotten facts, and oppose theoretical dogmatic assumptions. As Sir Fields, owner of newspaper in England, has said about us, they are the last pocket of individual thinkers in the English-speaking world. See? So this is a deep issue, and like I said, it's not really about saving the people, but I feel it's just for people who really seek truth with any area you're studying. Like, this affects all areas. So that's really what this is about. Not about, saving the world. I sometimes call myself the last iconoclast. Science is a false religion, the opium of the masses. I myself count it as the beginning of sanity to confess the creation proves there was a creator, so a god or creator. And of course, we know flat Earth. Yeah, it gets a little more mystical and deific. Definitely some powers behind this world, that's for sure. From a lifetime of study, of seeking out, of proving things, from the study of 6,000 years of recorded history, from observation, from experience, from common sense observation, have concluded the 10 Commandments are in fact good laws of living and behavior for oneself, and all in contact with you, truly, laws of physics for living. That is my opinion. The fact that Earth is flat is not my opinion. It is a proved fact. Also demonstrated, Sun and Moon are about 3,000 miles away, are both 32 miles across. The planets are tiny because they're wandering stars. Sun and Moon do move. Earth does not move, whirl, spin, or gyrate. Australians do not hang by their feet under the world. This is a fact, not a theory. Also a fact, the spinning, whirling, gyrating ball world, planet, globe idea is entirely 100% now and at all times in the past a religious doctrine, a blind, dogmatic article of faith in the religion for the blind, unreasoning beast of prey. No earthly reason for a sane, upright member of the elite elect humans to subscribe to it. Also a fact, today the elite of Earth all live on a flat world. Only the illogical, unreasoning herd prefers the way out, occult, weird theology of the old Greek superstition, Earth, a spinning ball. Both Copernicus and Newton, the inventors of the modern superstitions, have said, it is not possible for a sane, reasonable person to ever really believe these theories. So they themselves are quoted saying that. Thus saith Newton and Copernicus, what sayest thou? So, a little lengthy, but not too lengthy. But I like that letter. Just wanted to get that out because he realizes what this is really about. Like, he's calling out, the elite, elect humans. And like I said, he calls out the herd because you really expose the herd mind on flat Earth. Like you said, it's really blind, dogmatic article of faith in the religion of the blind, unreasoning beast of prey. That's what this is. It's the most blind thing to believe in. It has no basis in reality. So I came across this article too from NASA. It's actually a PDF about the Wright brothers. They're trying to, follow them on the journey to the plane. And there's a questionnaire here. It's funny. Just going along. I guess it's for maybe for kids, teenagers. But it says choose one of the following ideas that were once accepted as correct in science. Just assuming. Here they go. So here it goes. The Earth is flat, and now you're supposed to explain, how this was disproven and by who. So here's their proofs. Eratosthenes used the sun shining into a well to calculate the Earth's diameter in 230 BC. What the fuck? Okay. Alright, I guess. Columbus did not sail off the edge of the Earth. A negation. So somebody didn't do something, therefore it's flat. Nah, he didn't fall off the ball. That's what, we should be surprised about. That's silly, assuming there's outer space. And finally, Magellan was able to circumnavigate the Earth. As if you can't circumnavigate a disk plane. You can't, travel clockwise or counterclockwise on a disk. So, again, more flat Earth material. The Wright brothers were flat earthers. Otherwise, they wouldn't have invented the airplane. Peace.